Well, the time is just gone 9 minutes past 4 as we kick off this afternoon on the Iftar Drive with myself, Inayat Wadi. And we're going now to be joined by Palestine activists. We're joined by Sister Fazela Mahomed. Sister Fazela, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome and Jazakallah khairan so much for your time.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you for having me.
Yes, we trust and hope you're having a wonderful Ramadan, inshallah. But we can't say the same for the people out in Palestine, in Gaza in particular. And we just see, crimes and attacks, barbaric in every form, one worse than the other taking place. And clearly, it's heartbreaking. And also at the same time, it actually angers one when we see what is taking place with regard to this fascist war that is taking place, particularly against the health sector, Sister Fazila.
Yes, I think that your introductory comments actually really sums it up. More and more, we see the Zionist regime really decimating every aspect of life. It's not only the murder, I mean, which is horrific, the murder and killing of innocent civilians in Gaza, but also laying waste the environment, totally destroying the capacity of society at every level, from the level of, uh, you know, it started in the health sector. They destroyed every single hospital until there are very few hospitals that can only function minimally. They have destroyed the education system in its entirety. They have destroyed the capacity. Now, what we're seeing is they attacking aid workers. So they're destroying the capacity for the distribution of food. What you see is they're trying to take the Gazans back to a kind of stone age where no kind of any level of civil society exists, any level of governance or government in Gaza exists. So what they're trying to do is to leave Gaza with nothing and with no hope. And this brutal murder of people is to terrify people into submission. But as you know, the people of Gaza have been steadfast and they've continued, surviving despite the oppression of the Zionist entity.
Yes, in fact, what you're saying is very, very true because this is exactly what the Palestinians are saying that, all of this, these fascist crimes only increase their determination to cling to their land and their resistance will be steadfast in the face of this brutal Zionist machine of terrorism and killing. And sometimes we ask the question, what worse can be done? Because every conceivable atrocity, every conceivable brutality, barbaric crime has already been committed against the people of Palestine, Fazila.
Yes, I think, one of the things which is very worrying is that in the first place, they're showing us that they don't care. South Africa took them to the ICJ, and in fact, the atrocities increased since then. So what we're seeing is that the Zionist entity trying to show that they don't care. But I think for us as ordinary people, both in South Africa and around the world who support the Palestinians, we need to also show increased support because this is intolerable. Every day when you watch this horror on your TV, it's like a worst kind of TV show you've ever seen. And you think to yourself, what can I do more? You can go and protest, you can march, but what can I do more? But I think we have to continue our stepping up our support because the Palestinian people by surviving is the ultimate act of resistance. And when they see us out in the streets, it gives them hope. And so we are there to provide that kind of hope, saying that the world is with you and yes, this too will come to an end.
Yes, I think looking at it from a Palestinian's perspective, they know that the world is with them. We are talking about the people on the ground. Perhaps we don't see it on a diplomatic level. We don't see it at a government level. We've seen it what has happened in the United Nations as well. This whole war of vetoes that is taking place, where we've seen the United States now on 3 occasions using its veto powers to stop a ceasefire. And when they had this sham so-called proposal that they were going to put through to the United Nations, and then we saw Russia and China obviously using their veto powers. So all of this, Sister Fazila, we see it on a diplomatic level. Perhaps we don't see enough pressure being put on Israel, because this is a rogue state. It has gone rogue, and it's become an unstoppable killing machine in every way whatsoever. So on a diplomatic front, can't be done, but the Palestinians know it, and you know it, and we all know it, that on the ground, the level of support for the Palestinians is phenomenal. People who never ever knew about Gaza, who never heard of Gaza, today they've learned of Gaza. They know what the Palestinians are. They know who they are. They know what they're made of, and also horribly exposing the Zionist entity.
Yes, agreed. They have. I think that ordinary people in the world, it is just part of our common decency and humanity. There's nobody who can see what is going on and actually harden their hearts, because the atrocities is so diabolical. There's no other word for it. That's just so awful that nobody can say that in the midst of all of this, I can explain it. Because, when we see, and I think the worst atrocity is really, you say, what can they do worse? They're trying to starve the population of Gaza. Yesterday, they said that UNRWA can't go to the northern areas of Gaza. I mean, this, it's like, how can people conceive so much evil? Is really the question. They've just gone beyond every bound of human decency. And I think that what is clear is that the allies too are exposed more and more. The United States, all those countries, the UK, France, Germany, their allies who are exposed in their hypocritical talk of human rights, when in fact they undermine they undermine the basic right to life, never mind human rights that you receive on a daily basis.
Yes. Fazila, we're going to put you on hold. I'm going to go quickly for an ad break, and we'll be back with you in a few minutes.
Okay, sure.
You are listening to Salam Media live from our headquarters in South Africa. This is Salam Media, keeping you company this Ramadan.
Discover the Africa of your dreams and surround yourself with her spectacular beauty. Relax beneath her serene sunsets and explore wildlife at its natural best. It's where the pride of Africa comes together. The Kwantu Private Game Reserve. Get to know the Big Five or cruise on an elephant safari game drive. Interact with lion and tiger cubs and enjoy world-class halal cuisine while we pamper you during your 5-star stay. Indulge in the true African experience. For reservations, call now on 042-203-1400 or visit kwantu.co.za. The Kwantu Private Game Reserve, the place of gathering.
Fulfill your zakat conveniently with Ashraful Aid. This Ramadan, let's make your zakat count. Ashraful Aid's zakat distribution is carefully overseen by external boards which ensure its transparency and trust. Make a difference to those who really need it. Join us today to spread hope and compassion to those who need it most. Visit our website at www.ashrafulaid.org.
Freedom Stationery supply Marlin and Marlin Kids pens to me and my school friends. They supply just about everything we need to help us get a better education, from books to files to rulers. In fact, any any accessory we need. Freedom Stationery. Education for the nation. What does accessory mean?
World-class financial services only at Sapphire Global, your financial partner. If you are looking for Islamic Sharia and ethical financial products, look no further. Sapphire Global offers a wide range of financial service offerings from short-term to life and investments. A full-service center with all financial requirements under one brand. Our highly skilled and experienced consultants are ready to help protect your financial future. Contact us on 041 001 0184 or visit our website on www.sapphireglobalfs.com. Sapphire Global is an authorized financial services provider.
Food with love. Zakat makes it possible to establish the things that matter. It sets the foundation right for the family around the dinner table, the mothers who carry the heavy load, the children who want to play. Zakat is not just money. It is the reason why so many across the world are smiling before they sleep. Your zakat helps us continue to serve with love, with hope, because with you, we can. Give your zakat to Penny Appeal South Africa today. www.pennyappeal.org.za. Penny Appeal. Small change, big difference.
From samosas and half moons to cook sisters and roti, everything between iftar and seri makes sunfoil cooking oil an essential part of your Ramadan. Approved by the Heart and Stroke Foundation as part of a healthy diet, this blessed month, give your family the best with sunfoil, because tradition just tastes better.
When the perfect blend of stylish decor, exquisite halal cuisine, and warm hospitality come together, it could only mean Al-Bayt Lodge, your true home away from home. Al-Bayt is the ideal heaven for families, business people, and tourists with its 4-star family rooms and other luxurious facilities, conveniently situated close to Port Elizabeth Airport, the beach, and other amenities. Your stay will be truly unforgettable, as you'll be taking home lasting memories of the warm hospitality, the serenity and tranquility that Al-Bayt has to offer. For reservations, call 041 583 6415 or visit www.albaytlodge.co.za. Salam Media, your spiritual companion this Ramadan.
Well, the time is just gone 22 minutes past 4 as we continue our discussion this afternoon with Fazela Mahomed, and we're talking about this war criminal, we're talking about the head of evil, we're talking about this terrorist, Benjamin Netanyahu, who continues his journey and on this war of extermination of the people of Palestine, the killing of children, women, the elderly, the burning, the destruction of civilian cities, hospitals, starvation of civilians, crimes the likes that which we in modern history have never ever known. And this is what Israel is about. This is what Netanyahu is about. This is what this killing machine is all about. And again, when we see the catastrophe that is unfolding, the humanitarian catastrophe, this fascist occupation war machine creating in Al-Shifa Hospital, where we've seen 6 days in a row, we've seen these crimes of executions, abuse, burning of people's homes, besieging them without water, all of this taking place. And it is clear, it actually angers one when one witnesses all of this taking place. So, Sister Fazela, just to continue, and we were going to talk a bit about the Al-Shifa Hospital. Now, we know way back already in around November, when the hospitals became targets, we had Dr. Matt Gilbert out here as part of Salam Media delegation at that point in time. He spoke about Al-Shifa Hospital. He was very, very close to the Shifa Hospital as well. And this again seems to be once again, the Al-Shifa Hospital coming under target, but this time around, even with even more brutality, and again, leaving people without food, water. I mentioned things like crimes of execution, all of this taking place once again.
Yeah, I think you need to look at it in a context. I think that, for example, the point is that it is a systematic approach to the erasure of the Palestinian people of their land. if you look at it, it's not kind of meaningless actions by individuals trying to harm Palestinian society. It's a political act aimed at removing the Palestinians off their land with the utmost brutality. And I think this notion of, when you kill people in a hospital despite international outrage, what you're saying is that we will do as we please. We are not bound by any laws, and we will continue the murder of children, civilians, etc. And we will target the untargetable, because who targets hospitals and who targets who shoots and executes children, who removes like the facilities for babies, in the incubators. So I think that what we're seeing is a systematic attempt to erase the Palestinians off their land. And it's also a systematic, if you look at the polls in Israel, most of the people support the government of Netanyahu and what he's doing. And in fact, Benny Gantz and all these others who are supposedly kind of milder alternatives to Netanyahu are all part of the system of actually, as we say, erasing Palestinians from their land, creating a new level of Nakba or catastrophe that far exceeds that in 1948, just in terms of the level of suffering. Their refusal to allow food, one of the basic requirements in life. And, in the midst of all that starvation, in the midst of all the death and horror, is really the ultimate disregard for the humanity of the Palestinian people. And I think that we must be clear that this is a systematic approach with the support of the United States, with the arms and ammunition from the United States, to ensure the continuation of this colonial project. Because what they want to do eventually is move Palestinians out of Gaza, and then eventually, as you can see on a daily basis, the atrocities against people in the West Bank, through the co-option of some Palestinians, actually trying to reduce the Palestinian presence to a bare minimum.
Well, certainly, Fazila. In fact, all of this, while you mentioned the United States of America, but also we look at the world that is just sitting back at this point in time, and they seem just so helpless. They seem so impotent that they can do absolutely nothing.
Yeah, it may be now that we feel we are so powerless, but we know from our own experience under apartheid, as powerful as a regime may think they are, they cannot rule through force forever. And that really gives us some level of hope that, in fact, and we see all over the world, people are standing up, even in the United States. I mean, there's been much comment recently about young Jewish, people who are saying that please don't do this in our name. So you will see that, these crimes are abhorrent. I mean, I think that, and eventually, I once went to Germany, and I went to the concentration camps there. And one of the things that struck me in the mural outside Sachsenhausen was the German people saying, "We didn't know." We didn't know. And they saw all these people from Auschwitz as they were walking out. So it was like a headline of a newspaper saying, "We didn't know." And the people of Auschwitz said, "How can you say you didn't know when we passed you every day? You saw us every day. Don't say you didn't know." So this atrocity will be recorded in the future historically of one of such immense proportions, kind of massacre of immense proportions. And people will have to face their conscience. But I mean, right now is really the question, what can we do? And that is really hard in the midst of the power brokers of this world trying to stop any initiative that stops carnage.
Sister Fazila, at this point in time, I think, you mentioned people raising their voices, people coming out in the streets. We've seen protests. We've seen a lot taking place right across the entire world in almost every major city around the world, where we've seen people taking a stand for the people of Palestine. What more at this point in time? What more can be done?
Well, I think one of the things we need to raise our voices, as you can see from a political level, the uh, you know the Americans are now working with the Israelis and the French and I don't know the Jordanians to look at a kind of solution for the Palestinians without the Palestinians. I think it's time to stop that. The Palestinians should be the custodians of their own future, and that as we are all kind of saying what more can we do, they are planning the next phase of the of their colonial project. I mean, this new pier that's being set up, new levels of control, of the Gazan population. So I think more and more that uh, we need to say that they can't decide. And I think if the world puts their voices together, we must say that please allow the Palestinians to choose their own future. You can't engineer the future of the Palestinians. So I think we have to continue with our protest. We have to make our voices heard. We need to make sure that we never forget, as much as it's hard to see those pictures, we must continue to see them so that we don't forget and we don't reduce our voice and our agency and push everybody we can, you know, even those sometimes who don't agree with us, let us convince them and try to persuade them in our own communities who say, well, this is not correct. Well, I'm not interested in politics, etc. We need to persuade them because we need to make sure that every single voice must be heard against the atrocities of the Zionist entity.
Well, Fazila, Jazakallah khairan so much for that. We're going to have to leave it at that. And we do appreciate you taking time out this afternoon and being with us right here on Salam Media. We wish you all the best and also for the rest of the month of Ramadan, inshallah.
Yeah, Ramadan Kareem to all the viewers as well. Thank you. Jazakallah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Fazela Mahomed, Palestine activist, with us this afternoon. And with that, we're going to go for a break. The time is just gone 4:31. We come back, we'll be talking about the Speaker of Parliament. We'll be joined by Professor Sam Khosa.